We had negotiated rent as like so much per month, a monthly fee, and then he was like, for an extra $150 a month, we'll let you use use the hot tub in the backyard. And we're like, no, we're not gonna.
$150 a month?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was more for that luxury.
Yeah,
and we were like,
the
no,
hot
we'll
tub.
pass on that. And so like a couple months goes by, and one day like 4 guys show up with a truck and they haul the hot tub away. And then we're just left with a hole in the deck, which they never bothered to repair at all.
That's awesome. I was going to say, what are you going to do? Just take the hot tub? But I guess
Yes.
the answer is yes.
That's pretty good.
Hello and welcome to We Won't Finish This Podcast. This is a writer's room podcast where we pitch movies to each other that we'll never make. I'm Spaceman.
Savage.
I'm Zeebz.
All right, Zeebz is up tonight. Why don't you give him a little taste of what we're in for tonight?
Well, I'll tell you up front, just to let you know, we did tell you up front we won't finish this podcast.
Yeah, we won't.
Okay, just know that going into what I've got here. This movie tonight, it's a comedy drama about a young man trying to figure out what to do with his life. How everyone around him appears to be on a path, but he can't pick one. The movie will cover probably, a 5 to 10 year span.
Okay.
Like I said, it's dramedy.
I feel that.
Well, exactly. It's relatable. My next note says I can relate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be 40 in a few years, and I'm still like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah. I still feel like I haven't grown up quite yet.
Exactly. So then hopefully you can get yourself there in this mindset for this. So it's going to center around 4 guys. They're longtime friends, roommates.
Starting at what age?
Probably early 20s, mostly focused on partying and enjoying themselves, broke and happy.
Okay.
That was pretty much my 20s. So we have the characters. We have Ryan. He's going to a nearby university, does well in school, has a job already lined up with a family friend's company for when he graduates. So like this guy he's buckled down going to school.
Yeah.
He's got a plan.
Determined.
Yes. Then you have Jason. He's kind of one foot in, 1 foot out with a community college, doesn't like his major, isn't into it, but he's just got to keep his parents happy. So he's like doing
going
it.
through the motions.
Exactly. So then you got Bill. Bill is a complete mess, right? No plans, partying every day, but he brings a lot of fun. Everyone likes him. Can't keep a job. They're always helping him out, like always borrowing money, that kind of guy. Okay. And then the protagonist, I'm thinking, is Michael, who's, working a shitty job, but he's okay with it, under the certain circumstances, no school plans, long-term goals, but he's currently happy.
Okay.
Right?
Does he deliver pizzas?
He could deliver pizza. I never picked a job. So wherever we're going to I deliver pizzas. I know all about it.
This is a crew of buddies like from high school or
probably.
Yeah.
Something like that, but they're all friends, right? And I also have I didn't write anything for this, but there's nothing in my notes about it, but I was also thinking they could just have an outrageous landlord. We could get into that.
Okay.
Spaceman and I had an outrageous landlord
Yes.
that we could definitely base this
yeah,
on.
that's relatable for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can input a couple things into this from there.
I mean, his name was so generic. We might as well just say it and use it.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
All right.
We won't go that far, but it's Job Bonson.
There you go. But so at this stage, there's a balance in the house. Anybody who's working at college or anything, none of their hard work is paid off yet. So, the ones that aren't really doing anything, they're still on the same playing field, right? Like they all don't have money and are happy living in this house. So when the ones that aren't going to school or something see the other ones, buckling down for a test or, I got to get up early for class. They're just like, that sucks.
Yeah. And I'll just say real quick, that dude is real scuzzy. Maybe we'll edit that one in post.
There's not a chance there's a problem there. But yeah, so they're just kind of like, they don't realize what's happening yet. It's just we all hang out every night. Everybody's having fun. And, it's just like, oh, you got class in the morning? That sucks.
Yeah. We're still going to just get hammered tonight. Why does that change anything?
Yeah. And I'm picturing like the house, like, when I worked at Pizza Place, I was just living off Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Right. I remember one time buying, it was like I had no money for food at the house where I think I had to scrape together money to buy like a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter. And that was my food for the week.
Yep.
Essentially.
Right.
So that's the kind of house I'm picturing.
Yeah.
These kind of guys, right? I'm sure, Spaceman, you remember like the blowtorch water heater.
Oh, I remember it very, very distinctly. And didn't it have problems? Yeah, no, I know it did. No, it was the furnace. Sorry, it was the furnace. The furnace would also go out, but then it would kick on very, very violently.
Yeah.
And my cat got a very twisted, burned, curly mustache from it. I remember that from his whiskers. Obviously, he was fine.
These were dangerous appliances.
Yeah, they really were. And I remember me being a dumb 20-year-old. I remember I was trying to mess with something, but it wouldn't light, and the blowtorch tipped over on me, and I had a scar on my left wrist for like 10 years. It was absurd.
You got to remember though that this happened because the water heater just would not work, and the landlord, Gob Schmonson, he came by, couldn't get it to work.
This is all you gotta do. You just use the blowtorch on it.
Literally, he wrenched on it like for a couple days off and on. He'd stop by, mess with it, be like, it's going, and then 8 hours later, it's like, it's not on anymore.
Yeah.
And he finally just gave us a blowtorch and was like, here's what you do. And we had to do this essentially every 8 hours to keep hot water. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, we're going to edit that out later, too.
What, the whole thing?
We're going to cut that.
Get the whole Schmonson? Okay. Well, then this is just for the live stream people.
Yep.
So anyways, there's a foosball table in the house. This is where the guys spend most of their downtime. Drinking, smoking, playing foosball. They're all really good at it. They get very competitive. Like, this is their thing, is like tournaments and, things like that.
That can get heated for sure.
Well, we did this in our there's a specific house and room or situation I'm kind of thinking of when writing this. So foosball was big there. So I'm thinking Jason, he hangs out with his parents once a week, and they take him grocery shopping. This would be something that would cause big contention in the house. I never had a roommate that did this, but I've been to friends' houses where they had the one roommate where like once a week their mom took them grocery shopping, and they'd all just be sitting on the couch as like a parade of groceries get walked past them into the kitchen. And so that's Jason's situation. His parents are around. That's why he's got to do the community college.
I remember when you and I had our first place. I remember I like stocked us up with like TV dinners, and I felt like I was providing.
Yeah, you were a provider.
Yeah,
you really did. You brought home the bacon.
I know. I was probably like paid 75 cents a TV dinner.
Oh, I remember those. Those were good.
They weren't bad.
Those were good.
I'm sure the same kind of situation for our first house. It was like you moved in without really looking at the place very well, and like it was so dirty inside, and the whole building was on it like an obvious slant to the point where like if you spilled beer on the floor, we'd just throw towels at the bottom of it because we knew it would just roll down there eventually.
Or the floor would just spill your beer. Somebody said it there.
Yeah, we had not quite that, but we didn't do our due diligence either, if you can believe it.
No.
And so within days, we had fleas that were blamed on us somehow.
Well, that was the duplex.
I remember. Yeah, that was the first one. And
Yeah.
then we also discovered petrified dog turds in the basement.
Yeah, but
which were somehow also our fault, even though we didn't have a dog.
But the second house had on that same street had no power for the first 3 days in like November, where we had to make a deal with the neighbors. Like, can we run an extension cord over? Our landlord apparently owes money, and like
That's
it's our problem now.
Not off to a good start.
No,
it was terrible.
It was bad.
It was also missing a window that we never got replaced.
Well, we just got a thumbs up and saying, yeah, I'll get that fixed right away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, don't worry about that. There was no fridge. We bought the fridge.
I don't remember even that.
Oh, yeah, we bought the fridge as part of the security deposit.
Yeah.
We just took it off his tab, essentially.
Yeah.
We had negotiated rent as like so much per month, a monthly fee, and then he was like, for an extra $150 a month, we'll let you use use the hot tub in the backyard. And we're like, no, we're not
$150
gonna.
a month?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was more for that luxury.
Yeah,
And we were like,
the
no,
hot
we'll
tub.
pass on that. And so like a couple months goes by, and one day like 4 guys show up with a truck, and they haul the hot tub away. And then we're just left with a hole in the deck, which they never bothered to repair at all.
That's awesome. I was going to say, what are you going to do? Just take the hot tub? But I guess
Yes.
the answer's yes.
That's pretty good. I mean, I almost respect the scumminess of that landlord to be like, well, then I'll go put it in my other rental.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just go drop it somewhere else. It'll be in their garage.
I got to make sure you don't mess with it. So anyway, Jason's got the groceries coming in. Ryan mentions one day that he will be graduating in a couple weeks and moving out. He gets a lukewarm reaction from the roommates. Michael and Bill get very jealous and ask him why he's fucking everything up.
Our rent's about to go up by
We don't want you to
$35
move on.
each.
Yeah. Well, so this is the kind of the vibe of the movie. This scene is what kind of spells it out. Is that they try to make a pact that they'll all just stay where they are in life and everything will be fine. Like that's the vibe of that I'm going for. It's like,
Right.
can everybody
Freeze
just stop
time right now.
Yeah, everybody stop. Freeze time.
Nobody's getting any girlfriends. We're all gonna live here. We're gonna be
Exactly.
dudes.
Don't take that promotion. Yeah, they're like, we got a good thing going. Why ruin it? And Ryan just scoffs at the idea, like, sorry guys.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're all
I got a
depressed.
plan.
Yeah, he's like, I've been working at this for years. Sorry.
What is his major? Did you say?
I haven't even picked. You got anything?
Business.
Business.
Okay, so he's finance bro.
Business.
So Michael challenges Ryan to a foosball match. Best of 7 games. If he loses, he has to stay living at the house. Ryan says it's ridiculous and my new job is hours away.
I triple dog dare ya.
Well, Michael stands firm and the other roommates back him up. They force Ryan to play.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Well, so
Best man win.
No, everybody's rooting against Ryan. They're all like,
just kind of egging him on, just trying to get him.
oh,
in.
okay. So I'm thinking like intense music plays as they're winding up for the games, right? And just Ryan just keeps telling them like, no matter what happens, I'm leaving, and that's that, you know.
Look, I'll play your stupid foosball, but I'm out of here.
Yeah, so they keep arguing with him. The roommates all get really hyped when Michael scores, and they boo Ryan when he does well. It becomes clear very quickly that Ryan is going to win. Everyone just kind of grows silent as he beats Michael. Michael gets incredibly emotional and insists that he's not crying.
He's just terrible.
And he's our
compared to Ryan.
Yes.
He's like,
This is
I'll
the one
play
that-
the game. But,
Maybe one of them else could start crying. Bill could cry.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be able to relate to Michael in a way.
Yeah,
but
so-
it is going to get hard to relate to him a little bit.
I
I
just
would
like
say.
that he's so confident. Like, no, we're playing for it. And
Yeah.
he just gets
Like,
stomped.
if you lose, you have to not honor your degree and stay in this house.
And then get stomped.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see him more of as an anti-hero so far, if anything. But
Well, they're misguided
all right. So-
early 20-year-olds, you know.
yeah.
So eventually, Ryan graduates and he moves out of the house. It's a bittersweet moment for the rest of them. They're genuinely happy for him, but they will miss having him around. And it also kind of shines light on their own situations, but they don't really discuss it out loud.
Okay.
You know, so now they're all a little more down of just like, fuck, like, here I am, there he goes, right?
I know it's starting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were a quadrupod. Now we're a tripod.
Yes.
Yeah, because I guess I can somewhat relate to that, because I know I was like, when we moved out of the house that will not be named, it was I think I was the first one, and we all kind of like agreed after that to kind of obviously move on. But yeah, like
I danced around with roommates for many years after that.
Well, yes, but I'm saying that one specifically.
Yeah.
Because I got engaged and was gonna go and live with my soon-to-be wife.
You didn't want to just like have your buddies around anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
It was
totally
very
makes
weird.
sense.
And sorry, really funny story, real quick, with that same house. Do you remember the cake incident?
No, but I would love to hear about it.
So
An
it,
incident with cake.
So it was my birthday, and I went and saw my family, and like I didn't eat any of the cake that was there. Who knows why? Maybe I just had a big dinner, it was stuffed, whatever it was. But I remember they sent me home with, I believe, 6 pieces of cake, minimum 4, but I'm pretty positive it was 6,
Okay.
even up to 8.
We won't audit the cake.
Yeah,
in
we
this
won't
story,
audit the
don't
cake.
worry.
I don't have the receipts anymore, but
You're not going to get busted. We'll believe it.
But yeah, but I remember like whatever was going on, I put it in the fridge. Me and my fiance at the time went to did whatever, and I believe it was the next morning I went to look for my cake, and it was all gone. the entire cake was gone, and we had another room.
Yeah, I don't remember this story at all.
Yeah, and this, of all the dumb things that we got into an argument about, it was him eating all of my cake, and somehow I was the bad guy about it. Now, I want to say, still love the guy.
You didn't save me a piece?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not accusing me.
No, not you. You had nothing to do with it. We had another roommate. You were just like the observer in this, which I'm sure you found hilarious uproarious.
I'm not trying to get into another or make this like a roommate trashing podcast, but because this is just funny. I do remember one time, same roommate you're talking about, having an argument about like, dude, you never do the dishes. You got to do the dishes. And we finally just cornered him one night where it was like, you were doing the dishes next.
Right.
Like there's a sink full right now. They're yours. We're not gonna touch them. And he went to bed that night. He goes, all right, I'll do it when I get up. This dude stayed in his room until 4 p.m. and then was like, I gotta go to work. Like,
wow.
And we were all day just on the couch looking at each other like he's still fucking up there.
I know,
No one
so
wins in that battle.
So salty.
No.
But yeah,
Right.
what to say explicitly?
We haven't been able to use a fork in 3 days. Out of principle.
Went and bought plastic
I'm not
forks,
giving in.
probably.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, still love the guy if he's out there listening. But yeah, like,
of course,
it was absurd.
It's very funny.
Ate all of my cake. Like, it didn't do the dishes.
It'd be funny if in that
And he clogged the toilet and left for work.
I mean, probably.
It'd be funny if
Can't pin that
the
on him.
dishes in question for that time were just covered in his cake mess. 6 separate
Everything's
plates.
See this one? There's frosting all over it.
Yeah. So Ryan's moved out, and I'm thinking they're still at the house. They can see Ryan's social media. His new place looks like an adult's house, while theirs could be a crack house. He's in a new big city while they're still in their hometown. They're irrationally judgmental of all his social media posts. Like, I'm picturing them looking at like him just like at a restaurant posting a picture of his food, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at this dinner he's having!"
He's
like
big
he really,
timing us right now.
Like he really ate all that
This dude's
food.
big
What an
timing us.
asshole!
Where's he at?
You know?
Olive Garden? Come on,
Yeah.
Mr. Fancy.
Yeah.
Big timer.
I'm just picturing them looking at the picture of the food, like, "Oh, like he really ate all that."
What is that? A bolognese?
Just posturing for social media.
Right.
Anyways.
What did they stuff in that lobster?
So at this point, Jason, the community college guy, he starts focusing more and more on his school, actively planning a path for when he graduates. The others get wind of this, and it becomes a conversation of betrayal and sadness. Like, oh,
This
you want
guy
to
having his avocado toast.
be? Yeah. They're like, oh, you want to be Ryan now? You know, like that's their thing.
You know,
So
little Ryan.
So Bill is especially upset about this because he and Jason have a special closeness. He doesn't want him to leave. They sing each other happy birthday on their birthdays every year with random candled items. Like, I'm thinking maybe that peanut butter bread from earlier, they just put a candle in it and like actually cut it into slices after.
I don't know why, but so far I don't like Bill, and I don't have a good feeling about him.
Well, he's fun.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you're like, he's funny, you like being around him, but at the end of the day, you're like, Bill still owes me that
Yeah,
80
you know
bucks.
what? Fuck Bill. I'm calling it right now. There's something up with Bill.
Well, we'll see.
All right.
Let's see. Anybody have any other cake ideas?
I mean, fuck Bill.
All right. So we're on the next one. So another reason why Bill and Jason are especially close is that they're fart twins.
Is it just like the same brand, or is it the same wavelength?
No, it's exactly it. To quote Fat Bastard from Austin Powers, they say everybody likes their own brand.
Oh, jeez.
So if you had a friend whose fart smelled exactly like yours, think of the closeness in that.
Bro, I thought.
You could actually sit and bomb out a room and enjoy it. You'd be like, dude, smell this one.
Ugh.
So they're fart twins.
Okay.
This is where I'm at. I thought I
Did I do that? No, it was me.
Well, no, just imagine being the roommates of the fart. Where you're
Like,
Michael,
oh,
and you come down in the living room to hang out, and you're just
Right,
like,
the gruesome
God,
twosome.
how long you guys been in here?
Did you say the gruesome tootsome?
tooting and
There you go. So Bill and Michael, they decide that they want to sabotage Ryan's classes to keep him around. Right?
Okay.
Okay, right.
He's nearing graduation. They're like, this can't happen again. Right?
This can't happen to us.
They spend days and nights hatching a plan in secret with many detailed steps, breaking into the school, disguises, etc.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I don't know if you have any plans for how you make somebody not graduate.
Yeah, I mean, these days I feel like that'd be pretty hard because probably all teachers take their stuff home with them, or it's secure online, or
drop his
whatever.
laptop
Yeah,
in a
I don't know.
bathtub the day before his papers
Right.
due or something.
You gotta
Exactly.
just try to like stall him from showing up at for the final exam. Or
Send him like fake emails saying class has been canceled. So I'm thinking that it's all thwarted, their plan, when they text the final plan on accident directly to Jason without knowing.
Okay.
So they're like sitting in the living room, like
Self-sabotage.
sending it to you now, and then he just comes
He
out.
is so stupid. He
Yeah.
has no idea.
And he just comes out of his room and maturely calls them on their bullshit and tells them that he's moving out.
Okay.
It's like he gets the text, he's just like, what the fuck?
You idiots.
Walks
Oh,
out there
right.
just like,
I
dude,
can't risk my future on
Yeah,
you dummies.
why would you do this? There's a period where they still live together, the three of them, but they're incredibly hostile.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I've been in a very hostile roommate situation before. I mentioned
Yeah.
it briefly in episode 0.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not going to get into it. But they're
Like each claim your space, and then like the kitchen is a point of contention, the bathroom.
well, it was threats of violence over. I mean, like there not being toilet paper. Like I'm telling you, it was wild.
I mean, to be fair,
That's
a survival situation.
One of the most heated arguments I had seen was my other roommate. It was kind of split into factions, right? It was like 2 versus 2 in the house, and the guy on my team was doing the dishes, and he just got to a plate that was just like had the hardest, driest cheese mess on it that he was just like, I'm not cleaning this. This isn't my fucking plate. So he sets it off to the side, does the rest of the dishes, leaves it at that. And the other guy walks in the kitchen and sees all the dishes are done but the cheese plate. And apparently in his description, it was like propped up on display. And he was
Passive aggressively.
yeah, that's what he said. It was
Yeah.
like the guy was like, "No, I just got it out of the sink so I could do the other dishes." And he's like, "You have it presented." Like just scream. This guy, he was ready to
Still your
murder
plate.
somebody over the cheese plate.
Still your plate.
It was his plate, and he was furious. And because I even went that far and told the cheese plate story, this is a confession I've never said publicly. Here's an example of, I guess, me being a bad roommate. But it was that situation, threats of violence, almost on the brink of a fight over the dumbest things, right? So this is why I behaved the way I did. But it got to the point where the kitchen was always trashed. I walked in there one day. There was literally, they'd been baking or something. There's like sugar everywhere. And our washer and dryer was in the kitchen. So I'm in there like doing my laundry, and I'm looking at this mess just like, Jesus Christ, look at this fucking place. And there's ants literally crawling on my feet.
Yeah, obviously.
So
yeah.
I'm furious. Like I'm just like, dude, this is fucking crazy. We don't have
Right.
ants in here. So I send the roommate text message of like, dude, there's piles of sugar in the kitchen. There's ants. Like, you got to clean this up.
You gotta.
And then I go to work. I get home later. The guy's screaming at me. He cleaned up the kitchen, but he's like, I didn't see a single ant in there. And he's adamant on it. And I'm like, that can't be possible.
Yeah.
Right. So then the next time, I don't know if we've ever covered this on the show. I know it was a big part of the cartoon plot, but I worked at an Outback Steakhouse, and your clothes get disgusting, right? So disgusting that I couldn't keep them in my room. I had a closet that was attached to it that was like an unfinished attic kind of thing, and I would just hang my work clothes in there. And unbeknownst to me, ants had found them. So when I went down and did the laundry, they were my ants falling off my pants onto my feet.
Right.
And I realized this later because I went in the kitchen. Every time there's no ants, I went in the
Got
kitchen.
ants in your pants.
I did. And I looked around the kitchen, after he told me there's no ants, and I'm just like, where are they?
There's
like
no ants.
No
There's
ants
no
don't
way.
just get rid of themselves. They'd still be patrolling.
Oh.
And then later I found out they were
Gross.
my ants, and I was like, well, I'll never tell him about that.
Well, obviously.
I was like, hey, just let you know, those are my ants.
Yeah, you're fully absolved of the ant situation. It was me.
So, like I
they
said,
were in
that-
my pants.
It's a confession, but I was driven to that secrecy
Jeez.
because I wasn't about to get in a fist fight over it. I was just kind of like, all right, well, I guess I'll never bring up the ants.
No, I
again.
remember we had one roommate that worked in food service, like you were saying, and it got to the point where like every 6 months, like your shoes are too disgusting. We have to
Yeah.
burn these in the backyard.
Yeah. I have a buddy that if he comes over, my dog just makes out with his shoes. He works at a restaurant, and it's you don't like to see it.
Man,
You're
I
like,
got
can you
out of-
please take those off?
I got out of the roommate game in a good time. Say I had a
Well, you got the Little Caesars clothes.
yeah, that's true. Like
You didn't get the Outback clothes though. Those were
Yeah.
longer in store shifts.
yeah, because I mean, like you weren't. I mean,
You're in your
you
car
didn't
a lot.
deliver that.
Yeah, you're in your car a lot delivering pizza. My car smelled like cheese.
Dude, there was a very
I'll give you that.
and like I had an ex-girlfriend that was also a pizza delivery person, and both of your cars smelled exactly the same. I remember.
Yeah,
It-
yesterday's pizza.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't completely foul, but it was almost there.
You get used to it. And it makes
you don't.
It makes you want more pizza.
You don't. Not if you're not the driver.
Well, I got used to it.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't quite vile, but almost.
Well, in the wintertime, it would like literally fog up your windows where you had to like wash the inside of them a lot because it was just, I don't know what it was, but like a film would form.
Right. It was like old mop water and marinara and dough.
It was like bleachy cheese.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. It's bleachy cheese.
So moving on.
Yeah.
So Jason moves out, and Bill and Michael realize that they need new roommates. But they can't get anyone to move in to this shitty house with them except for people younger than them who are wanting to be close to the nearby colleges. So they get a new roommate, Keegan, who's a young buck. They feel old around him.
He's like 19 and they're like 21.
Yes. But also even more behind because Keegan has life plans and is going to college and has financial backing of his parents. So I'm picturing this will involve another just like a looking sad scene of groceries being walked past of like Keegan.
So many Salisbury
They're
steaks
still in
coming
the same
Keegan
in the same chairs in the same position.
Exactly. And they just see the parade of groceries as Keegan and his parents walk them into the house. And a deeper resentment and sadness builds, right? So now it's looking tough, right? And I know you're not going to be happy about this, Spaceman, because you hate Bill.
I do.
But
Bill's a shithead, and I just know it.
It's Bill's birthday.
Oh, fuck him.
Oh.
It's Bill's birthday. And he comes into the kitchen smiling, and he's dropping hints to Keegan. But Keegan has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
Bill would get all of his cake eaten, I can just tell.
Yeah, so, well, how dare you? I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So Michael walks in and immediately tells Bill happy birthday. He knows it's Bill's birthday. And Bill seems like he expected more. Like the happy birthday wasn't enough, you know. So Michael has plans to take them both out that night. Keegan is shocked to hear Bill's age, even though he's only like 28.
It's still college?
Yeah. Well, no, he's just shocked, like, whoa, really? And it's just like he's not even 30. They have trouble deciding where they want to go out to because Keegan wants to go to the younger college bars, and these guys want to go around people their own age. But when Keegan brings it up, Bill gets a little upset that because Keegan says they're too old for those bars, and says he wants to go to the young bars, right? So they go to the bars. The whole night, Bill's just getting more drunk and depressed. He does feel old in the bar. Every person he talks to has a life plan and is currently working at it. He never has anything positive to say about himself. So I'm thinking at this point, like, maybe he gets into a fight or he's just so belligerent he gets kicked out of the bar for some reason. Like, it's just
multiple bars.
Well, yeah, it's just like he's breaking shit. They're just like, get this guy out of here. He's
just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, he's a nightmare.
I don't remember the scene well enough, but it's starting to bring up some like Team America memories. Where like I know he was like hammered at that bar. Like he goes out back. He's like, "You gave up on life, didn't you?"
That's pretty much the roommates could be screaming that at him. But yeah, so and any other ways to get kicked out of a bar, they'd be pretty funny.
I mean, there's plenty of ways to get kicked out of a bar.
Sure.
There's a lot of like bad ones that I don't even really want to get into, but we'll just say he's making an ass of himself.
I'll tell a pretty funny one. I had a buddy, I think it was his 21st birthday, got kicked out of a bar because he was pinching people's nipples.
Oh my God.
Men's nipples.
Okay.
But it was,
okay.
I mean,
I'm glad
like,
you clarified.
Starting fights, basically. I mean, like near fights. So I didn't even realize I was in the bar. Through the window, I see my other buddies push him against the glass window. And I'm like, what is happening? They were like restraining him. And I go out there, he's arguing with a bouncer. And I'm like, what's going on here? And the bouncer goes, he's grabbing people's nipples in there. And I'm like, what? Like, and he's just like, my buddy's furious, blind drunk, just screaming that the bouncer's an asshole, right? And then these two huge guys come walking up. And they kind of hear what's going on. And at this moment, my buddy's composed himself where they're like, telling the bouncer, like, this guy seems fine. Why can't he be in the bar? And somehow during that exchange, he pinched one of their nipples. And, I mean, I'm surprised there wasn't a murder. These guys could have just ripped his head off like a dandelion. Like, it was ridiculous.
This guy's out of control.
Yeah, then we had to stuff him in his sister's van, which had, it was very funny. It had the automatic, like, child safety side door. And he kept...
just very slowly.
Well, yeah, we'd, like, hold him, and then we'd slowly be closing it. And then, like, at the last second, he'd get a foot out, and the whole thing would open. We'd be like, God damn it. You know, so I'm picturing that kind of a scene.
The last time I saw somebody get kicked out of the bar, he was like puking in the bathroom, and one of the guys that worked at the bar comes in and knocks on the door. He goes, "You okay in there, buddy?" He could hear him, and he's checking on him. "You okay in there, buddy?" And the guy goes, "Fuck you."
It's like, all right, you gotta go.
He's like, "Yep, you're kicked out." And it's like, "Sir, it's not even 7 p.m." What are you doing?
There's a guy that I used to work with. Long story short, he's an older dude, like hilarious. He's got a lot of life stories I wish I could have gotten out of him, but he told me one where like this place, we'll just call it the carny capital of the world, which it was. And there is this bar that's very much themed after the culture there. And he was banned from that bar from punching a hole in the wall. So this man who like basically told me so many stories about how he's gone to Paris and all this like really cultured stuff.
You're like, wow, you seem like a very cultured fellow.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I can't go to this place though.
Yeah.
Also
We gotta
a
go to
wall
another bar.
puncher.
Yeah, he punched a hole in the wall of the carny bar in the carny capital of the world.
You know, when you're getting
you can
kicked
never go
out
back.
of
Right.
the Carney bar,
Right.
which is located in the Carney capital of the world, and they say you're a problem.
Yeah, you're a problem. Get
You're
the
not
hell
up to
outta
our
here.
standards.
Yeah, that's not good. It's not good at all.
Get out of here, bozo.
So
Clown.
at this point, they have to basically carry Bill home. He's so drunk. He has a freak out upon entering the house and tells everyone to leave him alone for ruining his birthday. And they're like, what the fuck, okay? And he goes to his room. The next day, Michael and Keegan are eating breakfast when Bill walks in. He's still mad and insists that they ruined his birthday. He doesn't care about the bar or anything else. He's upset that nobody sang him happy birthday. Jason used to sing it to him every year as kind of a joke, but he just misses the guy and he's depressed and lashing out about it. All right?
Okay.
So this is where Bill's at. He's just, now he hates everybody.
Yeah, no, he's just a mess. And I still
Well, he
don't
had
like him.
the sad life realization on the day of his birthday when he was out at the bar.
Yeah, or pretty shortly after
Yeah.
or something. So the others, they just kind of start like mocking him and trying to bring him down to earth. Like they're like, come on, dude, And then while he's in the middle of hearing probably some great advice and good points that they're making, his phone rings and he answers it kind of confused. Hello? Oh, yeah. Hi, David. You ready? And he begins to joyously sing happy birthday into the phone. The rest of the roommates just watch him confused. They're like, what? He gets off the phone and he explains that he had completely forgot that last night after going into his room, he vented on Twitter, promising to sing happy birthday to anyone who doesn't have anyone to sing it to them on their birthday. So he's just like crying on Twitter. Like, this guy won't let this happen to anyone.
Just drunk crying.
Yeah. So before anyone can think of what to say, his phone rings again and he gets super giddy. He walks out of the room answering his phone. Hello? Your name's Mitch? All right, here it comes,
Here we
Mitch.
go.
Happy birthday.
Let her roll.
And see, I picked a song that's not copyright too. We can sing it this episode.
Okay. We're not going to, but all right.
I might start it a few times.
I'll cut you off.
That's fine. So the other roommates, they all leave to work and go to class. And on the way out, Michael tries to tell Bill goodbye through his bedroom door, but he doesn't because he can hear him mid happy birthday song through the wall, and he leaves and has a punishing day at work, basically. So thoughts on the birthday?
I mean, that's a decent bit. Like,
So
I
he's
kinda like
just going to be constantly getting these calls.
Yeah,
now?
I mean that sounds like a nightmare in real life.
Well, it moves on.
Okay.
It evolves. So while at work, Michael gets a performance review. He's been doing a great job at work, and when he's shown his review, he's maxed out every category. He's excited until he finds out that his raise is 30 cents. He is also
We've all been
informed.
there.
Yes, he is also informed that due to changes, he will be getting less hours, but he still has to work the same amount of days. He will be making less even with the raise now. And like you said, I can relate. The same exact thing happened to me.
Yeah.
And they try to make it up for. I was like, you said I got an excellent review. The raise was like 28 cents or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was a percentage of my wage. And they were like, well, that's what you got, an extra 0.5%. And to give that to you, we had to take it from somebody else. And I was just like, oh my God. And that was literally enough that I moved from my hometown with no job prospect, where I was just kind of like, I thought this was a good job when I got it. I don't really know what else I'm going to do from here.
Right.
Yeah, I remember my initial raises were like 10 to like 20 cents when, I mean, we're talking back in early 2000s.
Minimum wage jobs that were
Yeah.
like $5.40 an hour.
Yeah,
you know?
I started at $5.50 an hour. I remember that still.
Oh yeah. So Michael, he goes home defeated, right? He's the bottom of the barrel, right?
Oh yeah.
And then he walks in the door, and Bill is hammered drunk, dancing shirtless in the dining room to just the beginning part of 50 Cents Into Club. You know,
Just on loop.
just go shorty, it's your birthday.
It's like
Just the birthday part.
Just like
Gonna
the
party
preview.
like it's your birthday.
I see.
So exactly. That's he's
He's just like
listening.
clicking the preview button on the.
He's really
streaming.
leaned into it.
Yes. So Michael walks in, and Bill tells him that his birthday song offer went viral, and he's made over $2,000 in Venmo donations just today. He has interviews in the morning with news and radio shows. It has become a nationally recognized feel-good story. He keeps restarting the 50 Cent song when it gets past the birthday part. And Michael is just stunned. Like, he's just like, you made $2,000 today singing happy birthday on your phone? So now you see where this is going.
Yeah, it's 4 months rent.
Right? Now the guy who is probably somehow behind Michael is like, oh, here, I got that $80 for you that I've been owing you.
Yeah.
So the next day, the porch is covered in Amazon packages for Bill. He's clearly spending his money like crazy. Bill is exhausted and hungover in his room, only stirring awake to answer his phone and sing happy birthday into it. Michael ends up hanging out with Keegan and his friend a lot as Bill is unavailable.
Is his friend named Asher?
It can be Asher. That's
All right.
Keegan and Asher.
Yeah.
And he feels like he's too old to be hanging out with them. though.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just like...
They're like a little too wild.
He
for
hates
him to-
this.
Yeah.
Almost 30 and like 21-year-olds, essentially, I would imagine.
But I
Maybe
don't
not
even picture
that.
him as wild. I picture him as like pretty, like probably more mature.
They just don't get any of his references, and
Yeah, there's like,
They
this
have-
guy's a
he doesn't
loser.
get any of
We're
theirs.
just here for the cheap housing.
Yeah, they're just like, dude, I need to go to school.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. We're not gonna be friends after this.
Yeah. So,
so they made like a Craigslist ad after Ryan moved out. And
Yeah.
it's just they didn't even know this other guy that moved in. And
yeah.
They weren't getting any.
he's
students
like
on
trying to get to
Craigslist.
know him, and he does not like him.
Asher informs Michael that his 21st birthday is coming up. Michael gets very excited. He wasn't planning on anything Asher wasn't planning on anything other than going to a bar or something, but Michael is going on and on about how they're going to have a big birthday bash at the house. Keegan and his friend reluctantly agree. Like, they're like, okay, I guess I won't go to the
Okay.
bar. We'll do it
Yeah.
here. Right? Michael goes into Bill's room to explain how much fun they're going to have for the 21st birthday. It'll be like we're 21 again. And that is I did have a roommate changeover situation at one point where we got a guy who had his 21st birthday there. And I'm going to tell this story because it ties into how this next part's going to go.
All right.
So me and my roommate had a similar thing where we were like, hey, we get to be 21 again, right? And we just assumed ahead of time these 21-year-olds are going to destroy this house if we have a 21st birthday here, right? So, like, I borrowed my mom's steam cleaner. Like, I was all in advance. Like, I was just like, let's just plan for it. And we just completely party-proof the house and everything. Like, we're like, yeah, let's see their worst. And they were fine. Everybody was fine. And it got to the point where my buddy, I'm going to keep bringing this guy up because it's pretty good, but he was the one that kind of really got it going. But we kind of hit a point where we were like, nobody's trashing this place. We might as well just trash it. And my buddy, this is nipple pinching guy.
Show you how it's done.
He during
Purple nurple?
during a beer pong game, just walks up. There's other people playing. He's not even playing, and he just picks up the table by its side, dumps every drink off of it and onto the floor, and then just sets the empty table back up during a beer pong game. And people are soaked. Like, people are drenched with beer.
Yeah,
He got drenched. He took his shirt off. He's yelling, all this kind of stuff. I guess I'll tell half of it. We'll get back to it because we're going to because now Bill tells Michael he won't be able to make it. He's been up all night making absolute bank, singing happy birthday. He tells Michael he doesn't want to disturb them with his unusual hours. He'll be working now and doesn't want them disturbing him sleeping either. Not to mention he's about to have a live-in film crew making a documentary about him for 6 weeks. And they're offering him to put him up in a house for it.
Yeah.
So Bill's like, I won't be at the party. I'm going to be at my own place. I'm moving out. Right? So Michael is absolutely stunned. It's about to be just him and Keegan living here. Bill's phone rings and he answers it. The caller's name is also Michael. So our Michael has to just stand there while he's still stunned in disbelief as Bill sings happy birthday to Michael, looking in his eyes. And then I'm thinking there'd just be a pause at the end and Bill will be like, yeah, Zell is fine. Like, he's just making money, so much money off this. So Michael becomes obsessed with planning for the 21st birthday party. He anticipates that the immature 21-year-olds will be drunk and trash his house, so he embraces it, rents a steam cleaner. He's already accepted he'll be cleaning up an absolute disaster area, right? You already know where this is going.
Yep.
I kind of spoiled it. At the party, Michael has no one to talk to as he doesn't know anyone but Keegan and Asher. He very quickly starts to realize he's being viewed as the loser older roommate, and he gets more drunk and belligerent.
Yeah.
Right? Almost annoyed at how respectful and responsible all the younger partygoers are, he snaps. During a beer pong game, he picks up the table just as I described. And I think he was just staring somebody down, too. Like, you imagine that looking you in the eyes.
Right in the eyes.
Dumps over your beer pong game. And so the way this happened is beer got all over everybody. It's a huge mess. My buddy's still just like shouting, walking around the house.
Right.
And nobody really knows us. They all know the 21-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And I think he had already left at this point. Like he had like left with a girl, or they went to a bar or something. Like he wasn't even at the house. It was just a bunch of his friends. And I remember a guy coming up to me drenched in beer, and I'm smiling. I'm literally seeing all this like, this is the funniest thing ever. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you live here, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, dude," he's like, "that guy just fucking trashing your house, you know? Like this guy's pretty much like, do you want us to fuck him up?" And I'm like, "No, I love it." And he was like the look I wish I could describe on this kid's face when I told him,
Flabbergasted?
"No, this is fine." He was just like, "But we're all drenched. We all want to fuck him. We'll all do it." You know what I mean?
We all got your back. Why don't you want this?
Yeah. So he flips over the table, you know, gets everybody mad, makes a massive mess, takes off his shirt and starts yelling incoherently, "I've had a few Chardonnays. What of it?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Spaceman knows this story well. And the reason he knows the story well is because there's a video.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
And we don't have to watch the whole thing.
It's been a while.
But you have to see, this would be the energy.
Yeah, definitely no copyright
Oh,
infringement
good.
here.
No,
See
this will be the energy that Michael is coming with at the party. Right here. We'll listen to the beginning of this part.
Talking about right now. I've had a few Chardonnays. What of it?
This is driving home from that 21st birthday that night.
Ryan, are we going home? Jumanji style. Let's go home. What of it?
What of it?
But picture no laughing.
A few Chardonnays. What of it? And what are you doing to your chin right now? What the fuck of it?
So this is the energy, and we don't have to go through the whole video, but just to skip to show you that it keeps up.
It's 6 minutes long.
Well, no, but just watch.
You Chardonnay.
He just keeps going no matter where I click.
What is wrong with you?
So, bottle of liquor in hand. But hold on.
You Chardonnay. You Chardonnay.
He won't let him into his own house yelling he's had a few Chardonnays. So this is who they're dealing with at the party.
Oh my god.
Michael.
What of
Just
it?
out of control.
But no, this is my favorite part. He enters the house, and they had their own party. There's people sleeping all over this house. It's another party house. And he comes in and declared all of them.
What of it?
Just sleeping all around the room. And
He's a maniac.
Just screaming at him. That one's face down.
and this is where he goes, "We wrecked Mike's house." Because he remembers. There's a moment of clarity. He goes back in to remind them that he's had a few Chardonnays.
Get out of my face.
But hold on.
I've had several Chardonnays.
He doesn't.
What of it?
So there's one more you gotta see. And it's the. I missed it. It's somewhere in here. This is it.
What of it? Oh my god.
Who invited this guy?
You know, I hear this happens at wine tastings all the time.
So that's enough. But I
Clearly not.
What?
it never ended. Some say he's still saying what of it.
You know, I gotta say, I don't think he had any Chardonnays. Seemed a little harder than Chardonnays.
A little heavier than that.
Probably a few Mike's Hard Lemonades, maybe a Smirnoff.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the energy Michael's coming with at the 21st birthday party. The way it ended is, let's say by this time Keegan and Asher, they've already left with some girls or something.
So that guy's just being over the top, belligerent.
Way over the line.
What if it?
What if it?
Keegan and Asher are gone at this point. You know, they've left. Leaving Michael as the only actual resident at the party, and he continues destroying the house. He's just destroying his own house, right? The partygoers don't know what to do, and they gather in the entranceway, calling Ubers and trying to figure out where to go because they want to leave. Now, at this point in the party, one other guy was gone, but me and my roommate were still there, and we were kind of like, all right, it's getting late. These kids can get out of here.
Yeah, you can go home.
We weren't interested. So my roommate had a golf club that he just had like laid against the wall, like in the corner all the time. He like practiced his swing in this room that had a high ceiling, and he just started driving the ping pong balls from the beer pong game into the crowd of 21-year-olds by the front of our house, just as like, I guess, a hint to get out.
Subtle.
Yeah. And it worked. No, they left. But so, Michael becomes more aggressive, picks up his golf club, starts driving ping pong balls into the crowd, right? And then we have an option. Do they just leave him depressed in his trashed house, or do they kick his ass? It's a choose your own adventure part.
I mean,
telling the story, I'm kind of surprised nobody got their ass kicked.
Yeah,
by some fit 21-year-olds.
Right. I feel like there would
bread
be
and
a
peanut
couple
butter?
punches thrown, but
No, nothing. The one guy, he wanted it. He came
Yeah.
up to me. He's like, "You live here, right? Like, let's do this." And I'm like, "No, I love this." He's like,
we were totally prepared. It's
"What?
fine.
How could he love this?" So the next day, Michael has to go to work. He's hungover. He's depressed. He's feeling like shit. Does he continue to freak out at work and get fired? Another choose your own adventure. He can continue the madness up at work. I only got a 30-cent raise. What of it?
Yeah, I feel like that's what happens.
Yeah.
Or does he become more complacent and actually start working hard at his job and pursue that promotion?
No.
No,
Okay.
That doesn't happen.
So he goes up there, what ofing?
Yeah, that's who
Okay.
this guy is.
Sure enough. I'll go with that. Michael will have to start taking work more seriously, whether at his current job or a new one that he always thought.
A new one.
Well, okay. So this is how I'm picturing it, is, when you're young and you don't know what to do, you look at job opportunities and you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I think at some point, especially in this kind of situation, you mature and you just are like, hey, it pays well enough. I don't give a shit. It's a job.
Give it a shot.
So that's where the transition would be. He's got to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And he's going to take a job that maybe 2 years ago he'd have been like, no way, never.
Right.
And now he's actually going to do it, embrace it, take it seriously. And he's working some job that he would have been ashamed of, but now it's just kind of like, who gives a fuck, dude? It's just my job.
Right, yeah.
So
I'm a custodian, dick.
it could be. He could go get a custodian job, but it actually, like, it's good hours. He gets a bunch of overtime.
Yeah.
It is what it is, or something. So I'm thinking we don't really follow the house anymore. Years pass, and all the original 4 roommates are invited to Jason's wedding.
Okay.
All right? He's moved out. These guys, they're...
Yeah, Jason's the original guy, right?
Ryan was the first,
Ryan's the first
university guy. Jason was the fart twin.
Okay.
And he was kind of who cares until Ryan left, and then he was like, all right, I gotta
Yeah, okay.
do
So he's the
something.
second one that moved out.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And I'm thinking that, like, they show up to the wedding and Jason could have a moment where, like, he's standing there and he starts smelling a fart and he's like, Bill?
Brings a salty
Turning heads.
tear to his eye.
Yeah, he turns around and they just have a big smelly hug.
Everyone's around like,
Gross.
Yeah. I can't tell if it was Jason or Bill, but it's terrible. So, they're at the wedding. Everything's great. They're getting along great. Happy to see each other. Except Ryan, who's constantly fighting with his wife. Conversations will reveal that he hates his job and his home life is shit. He seems to miss the old days more than anyone. So now, like, even Michael, Bill, they're all moved on. And Bill will obviously be, like, stepping to the side constantly to sing happy birthday to people.
Oh, yeah. He's clearly a celebrity.
He's
Right.
become, like, people know the happy birthday guy. Which I was thinking this would be a pretty good sketch of, like, a guy who sings happy birthday for a living, where you could go through the motions of, like, it starts picking up and he's like, yeah, I couldn't do them all, so I had to start charging. And then the charging, it just kept going up and up. Surge pricing. And then... like it could get to a point where, like, maybe somebody invites him to a birthday and they're like, yeah, he's going to be here. The birthday guy. He's going to be here
guy.
singing happy birthday
Right.
to you. And, like, some little
He's
girls.
booking 6 months out.
Yeah, some little girls all excited. And then when it comes time to sing happy birthday, he's just quietly eating cake while everybody else sings because he's just like, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah, right.
Like, and, like, people get bummed about it. Like, or he could even leave that happy birthday song to answer his phone and go sing to somebody else somewhere else. I have here, he gets a call, and it's years later, so this has evolved. He's very
Been going on and on.
This is his business.
He's a professional.
Yeah, I was thinking he just gets a phone call and walks away singing happy birthday in Mandarin. Like, he's that
They
famous.
could just tell it's like the tone of happy birthday.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, wow, this guy, he knows happy birthday in like 30 languages.
Right.
And he's just like, yeah, I take yen.
Put all his eggs in that basket.
So they get a time away from each other, away from the wedding, like after the reception or something, and they find that there's a ping pong table in a side room. They make their way to it. Ryan gets super excited and demands that they have a tournament right now. Nobody has played in years, and they aren't nearly as into it as Ryan.
Say ping pong or foosball?
Oh, I said, yeah, foosball.
Okay.
Sorry, foosball.
All right.
The tournament will come down, they have a 4-team bracket or whatever. It comes down to Michael and Ryan, the original you can't move out match, right?
Yeah.
It's clear that Ryan really needs this win, and Michael really doesn't care.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's not...
Roles have reversed.
Yeah, exactly. Michael is in a clear lead, and Ryan begins getting sadder and more desperate. Michael picks up on this and just starts throwing the game. He's just like, I think this guy really needs this. Ryan wins. He's in tears. He's so happy. The other guys weirdly congratulate him and give him hugs. Then, that's literally the end of my... I have no idea where to go with this. I told you we wouldn't finish the podcast. That's why I reaffirmed that at the beginning of the episode.
We're really not finishing this one.
Okay.
Well, where would it go? They've all kind of got their place in life.
Yeah.
There's no final twist.
Yeah.
It's just kind of more of like it's more Michael's resolution of like when there would be dialogue. He's now got a job that he's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm living on my own.
This wasn't a drama until right now.
Now,
right at the very
I feel like
end.
now Ryan's got to be the one that's enthusiastic about foosball, and that's what keeps everyone together. Like, we're starting a 4-man team, and every Tuesday night at the bar we get together.
Hey,
and we
guys,
play
you wanna go to a
foosball
bar?
league.
No, maybe no. That's probably what it is that he's trying to capture that more. We got to do this more. We got to get back into this. I miss all you guys. And they're all just like, dude, we're busy.
Yeah. You guys want to have a few Chardonnays? It's like, no, not really.
You're caring way too much about this.
And what's funny, I asked him later, I go, where'd you get that? Like, where was that from? Because like you said, he wasn't drinking Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And I think he said it was from Big Daddy.
Yeah, because I had never actually seen that one. I remember you saying that, and I was like, oh, all right.
Well, but I think there's nobody screaming it. It's literally, I think at one point he's just like, you a little drunk? And he's like, I had a few Chardonnays.
Wasn't it like...
it's like something like that. This guy just on a loop, just
screaming at sleeping people.
Weaponized it. He weaponized that line from Big Daddy.
Wasn't the guy who delivered it in Big Daddy, wasn't he like the limo driver in The Wedding Singer, I want to say? Because those Adam Sandler movies, he has all like the same guys. It was like the mustache, like...
No.
It's been too long.
It was an older guy, but...
Okay.
So.
I swear it's
No, I think it was one of his buddies with the
Grandma's Boy, like the main guy from that. I don't know the guy's name.
Oh, yeah, it was one of
not
those
that
guys.
guy.
I think it was the guy who had his Christmas tree up still. Dante.
Okay. Oof.
I think he was the one who said what of it.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're not gonna. That's not what we're doing.
We're not debating Sandler movies
We're
here.
not, go look up the
Watch
script
it yourself.
Yeah, look up a clip.
Although I could see the Sandler cast being in this movie. Like I could see like Kevin James, David Spade, like
Nick Swartzen.
Adam Sandler, Nick Swartzen as our main characters. I can absolutely see that.
Yeah, they're just
No offense.
like reluctant to move forward, and as the last couple guys cling on.
Well, like I said, the overall vibe is like, if nobody progresses, we're fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's.
Yeah, Gower says the old guy during the court case. I don't know what that
Agreed.
means.
That confuses me more. He's sending us YouTube links as if we're gonna start watching YouTube.
Well, we haven't seen
He's
Big
on it,
Daddy.
though.
I've seen Big Daddy.
I haven't seen
You're
Big
probably
Daddy.
the only
Yeah, I've
person
seen
on
it.
this block who hasn't
We've all
seen Big
seen it.
Daddy.
If we went door to door, like
do it right
I
now.
think more people would be on my side here.
I don't think anybody would pick a side. I think they would be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What the hell is Big Daddy? And that'd be our answer.
Yeah.
I've had a few Chardonnays. What of it?
Yeah, I hear that shouting from the living room.
Just in every house.
We would
going
get a
door to
clearer
door.
response if we just started shouting, I've had a few Chardonnays.
You know what
what
that's
of it?
from?
Just a few houses down. What of it?
What of it?
What of it? Or the what of it? Just roaring it at that room of people desperately trying to sleep. It was like 4 a.m.
Just clearing
Shirtless.
stuff off the counters.
Screaming.
But, well, yeah, he got drenched by the beer pong table.
Yep.
I
Forgot
still,
about that.
God, I wish I could somehow describe better that face of that kid when I
That's
told
ridiculous.
him everything's fine. This is part of the plan.
Yeah, just utter disbelief, I'm sure.
This is what we wanted to happen. He was just like, somebody's got to clean this up.
But it's disrespectful. I don't understand.
You guys are old. What are you doing? But yeah, it was. But yeah, that was the vibe I was going for. It was just the, like you said, it just freeze time.
Yeah.
And everything would be good, but like it's not going to happen naturally. People are going to get girlfriends. They're going to get more serious. They're going to graduate. They're going to get a good job. And if you're just, because like when I worked at Outback, they would offer me, like, I was hourly. I was working in the kitchen, and they were like, you know, if I wanted a raise, they'd be like, well, hey, we can give you, you know, kitchen manager or something, or like assistant kitchen manager. And I was like, fuck that. I don't want to work at an Outback. You know, like, so like that was literally like my.
I've been leaving my shoes outside for like 3 years already.
Yeah, that was my vibe. Was I'd see people that they would go from hourly to salary at companies like that.
Yeah.
And they'd go from being like the funniest guy you worked with to like the most pissed off guy that you worked with.
Right.
And you just kind of knew, like, it only took them like a month or two to get there either. And they just kind of like, they crunched the numbers one day and realized, well, now I'm working 60 hours a week. And then they compare what they're making now to what they used to make, and they're like, fuck, I'm making less.
Yeah,
per
less
hour.
technically per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with way more responsibility, but the checks are bigger. You can progress in life, whatever. So that was where my head always was, like, with that job. So that's what I'm picturing with Michael, is like, that's where I was saying he didn't necessarily have to quit his job. He could have just like said, like, you know what, I will take the manager job. And then he could be fine with that.
He gets that somewhere else. He goes, whatever.
Yeah, he screams, I quit, whatever. Michael, why are you screaming? Because I just quit, whatever.
Tips over a table on the way out and drenches a few people.
Yeah, they go, hey, you work here, don't you? I just quit. Fuck you.
Whatever.
You work here. Don't we need to do something about this? But yeah, like I said,
Yeah, definitely didn't finish this one. There's no real ending there.
I really didn't know how to finish it. I didn't know how to put a bow on it. I figured a wedding of them coming together and just kind of like, hey, we are all cool. We've all kind of found our place.
Yeah.
It's really just more of a resolution. There's no big climax to it, which I was I knew going into it, writing the notes, I was just like, I just don't know how to finish this.
Yeah, except I think
movie.
Bill, I mean, fuck Bill, by the way, but I think Bill should be like doing like, he's doing Happy Birthday in like Times Square and he can't make it.
So then we go further. Maybe it ends with like a song playing.
He sends a guy, and it's like obviously not Bill, but he shows up. He's like, "Yeah, let's do this. I'm here."
He starts using doubles, and it turns into a big scandal.
Right. This is definitely.
They're like,
not
no,
me."
I paid him $50. That was not Bill.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you'd be like the number one guy on Cameo or something. Like,
yeah,
that's what he's doing.
He's too busy for this wedding.
Well, he had to keep stepping out during the ceremony.
Well, yeah, but I just think he just can't be. He's booked Times Square for his Happy Birthday song, and that's where he is.
So this movie would end with, like, you know, some movies they have their final scene, and then as the credits are starting, it's showing like pictures, and it's like so and so went on to do this, so and so went on to do this. Bill would have a hard falling off after either using doubles scandal, or people just forget about him. They're like, anybody can sing me Happy Birthday. I'm not paying $50 for a Happy Birthday. What were we thinking?
From this loser?
What were we thinking sending this guy hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for singing Happy Birthday? Doesn't make sense.
Much. Yeah, I think he hits the bottle hard and, you know, like, has a really hard life.
I've had a few Chardonnays. What of it?
Yeah, he hits the Chardonnay bottle pretty hard.
It ends just slowly panning out from him in Times Square shouting.
Like he embraces the Happy Birthday thing so hard, and maybe like even changes his ringtone to Happy Birthday, so that when every time he gets a call, it's that, and just finally one day just like gets sick of it. So now he's like miserable doing the thing that made him like a huge star, but he's still got to keep it up.
Yeah. If we have to end it for all of them, I think he's just way too busy. He's playing Times Square, just singing Happy Birthday.
Okay,
but falls into deep alcoholism.
He used to be real enthusiastic about it. Now it's just super lackluster. Happy birthday.
Original guy who said came into it. I could see him just like, just divorced.
Yeah, you got to think he's the guy who had like the least decision. This was like a family company
like
or family friends company.
Like
he knew at like 16 this is what he was gonna do, and it's not great. And he's got So it kind of shows
I don't
the
want
other
to
side
make
of
toys.
it,
I
of,
want to
like,
be a dentist.
like painting yourself into a corner. I want to dance.
Yeah, exactly. He gets divorced, loses the kids, loses the house, and he delivers pizza at Little Caesars. Like, I see that's where he's going.
It ends with him finding ants in his pants. Saying,
What is it, a roommate?
what have I become? Blaming a roommate for it.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I did have to throw myself under the bus for that because
That's fair.
it was something I realized later. I was like, well, I'm never speaking of this.
Yeah, the other two, I can't even remember. Like,
So we did Bill, we did Ryan. Jason, happily ever after.
Yeah, we
mean,
can give him one. He
Just got married, maybe
yeah.
a kid on the way.
he makes just enough to have middle class life.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And he's
nothing wrong with that.
He's content.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Michael, who is
Yeah.
now, where is he working, did we decide?
I don't think we decided, but it can't be good, but it can't be bad either. I think he manages a Chuck E. Cheese. But he also has to like fix the robots when they go down.
Could be fun.
It could be.
We fight him at night.
Yeah, he gets punched in the balls a lot. by
So
kids.
what did he do before? What was Michael's job?
We said like pizza delivery or restaurant or something.
Yeah. What if
Yeah.
he's like, I need a change, and so now instead of delivering pizzas, he delivers like Chinese food or something. Like it's just enough.
I think he manages a Chuck E. Cheese, and it's not great.
He manages a Chuck E.
But,
Cheese, and at night they make the robots fight each other, and he has a wildly successful TikTok competing with Bill's Happy Birthday
A
viralness.
black market under Chuck E. Cheese. I like it. So he's doing okay.
Rock.
Underground droid fighting.
Underground droid fighting at Chuck. This is
Or
its own sequel right
animatronics.
here.
My money's on the rat.
Okay, well, make note if you don't have an idea for one of yours coming up. Underground
Like sports
animatronic Chuck E. Cheese fighters.
That's pretty good. Actually.
You're gonna have to
over under.
You're gonna have to prepare photos of the fighters so that we can all be nostalgic and remember what the drummer looked like.
Yeah, but I think he's got like an on and off again girlfriend. So he's just like he's okay. Just nothing good. You know, just not great, not bad, just okay.
I'm picturing when he's upset, he sometimes at work like vents to the animatronics.
Well, they're the only ones that'll listen.
Like he's just sitting on the stage, just like, and then listen to this shit she said.
And then it just like
Right.
powers down, just like
The thing just like keeps saying the same thing on a loop, and he's like, "Yeah, tell me about it." Anyway,
it's like part of a song. He's like, "Yeah, you get it, right?
You get
Tell me about it." And he just hits pause and he's like, "Thank you."
yeah,
You're
that's
always there.
pizza-rific.
And he goes, "You get it, I'm right, right?" And they just go, "Brrr," like you said, and they just melt. And he's like, "All right, I gotta go. It's late." But
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. You can check us out on social media. You can find all our links at linktree/WWFT pod. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch. If you're here now, thanks for commenting. Thanks for watching, following, subscribing, whatever you are, whatever you're doing. Leave a review. It all helps. It's great. Check it out. Linktree/WWFT pod. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for coming by.